Just get 7 to 9 hours. And I'd hit that number. But my mornings were a complete write-off. It wasn't until I finally gave up on that magic number that I figured out the real secret to waking up refreshed. And here's a spoiler. It has almost nothing to do with how long you're in bed. I was chasing a number when I should have been chasing quality. Just get 7 to 9 hours, and I'd hit that number, but my mornings were a complete write-off. It wasn't until I finally gave up on that magic number that I figured out the real secret to waking up refreshed. And here's a spoiler. It has almost nothing to do with how long you're in bed. I was chasing a number when I should have been chasing quality. Just get 7 to 9 hours, and I'd hit that number, but my mornings were a complete write-off. It wasn't until I finally gave up on that magic number that I figured out the real secret to waking up refreshed. And here's a spoiler. It has almost nothing to do with how long you're in bed. I was chasing a number when I should have been chasing quality. For years, I was obsessed with getting at least 7 hours of sleep. I went to bed early. I tracked my sleep like a hawk with every app and gadget you can imagine, and I'd still wake up feeling like I'd been hit by a bus. I thought I was just bad at sleeping. I'd see all this advice telling me, just get 7 to 9 hours and I'd hit that number, but my mornings were a complete write-off. It wasn't until I finally gave up on that magic number that I figured out the real secret to waking up refreshed. And here's a spoiler. It has almost nothing to do with how long you're in bed. I was chasing a number when I should have been chasing quality, the problem, and the agitation. My life used to revolve around the sleep tracker on my wrist. First thing I'd do when I woke up before my feet even hit the floor was check the app. 7 hours and 15 minutes. A brief wave of relief. But then I'd stand up, and that all too familiar wave of grogginess and brain fog would roll in. It made zero sense. I was doing everything I was told. I was following the golden rule, 7 hours minimum. But the results just weren't there. I'd sit at my desk, staring at my computer, feeling totally drained before the day had even really started. My focus was shot. My mood was all over the place. I felt irritable and perpetually exhausted, like I was living life with a permanent low battery warning. Do you know that feeling? When you technically got enough sleep, but you're so tired, you might as well have pulled an all-nighter? That was me. Every single day, I honestly started to think something was wrong with me. Maybe I had some weird, undiagnosed condition. I'd read articles about how people who sleep less than 7 hours have higher risks of heart disease, diabetes, and a weaker immune system, and I'd feel this panic rising in my chest. I was getting the 7 hours, so why did I feel so terrible? It was this frustrating, demoralizing loop of trying, failing, and feeling worse about it every single morning. I was a prisoner to a number that promised me energy, but only ever delivered fatigue. The turning point. My breakthrough came from a place of pure desperation. One night, after another day of feeling like a total zombie, I just gave up. I stopped looking at my tracker. I stopped forcing myself into bed at a specific time. I decided to ditch the obsession with the number of hours and just listen to my body. And that's when I stumbled across an idea that was so simple, yet so profound. Sleep isn't a math problem. It's a biological one. That's when I discovered that the question isn't, how long did you sleep, but how well did you sleep? Turns out, while how long you sleep is important, the quality of that sleep can be even more critical for your health and how you feel. One study on military recruits found that when their sleep was restricted, the ones who reported good quality sleep were protected from respiratory illnesses. But the recruits who had poor quality sleep, they were 3 times more likely to get sick. I realized I had spent years worshiping the wrong metric. I was so fixated on the total time spent in bed that I completely ignored what was happening during that time. Was I actually getting the restorative deep and REM sleep my body needs? Or was I just spending 7 hours in a restless, fragmented state of pseudo-sleep? The answer, I quickly figured out, was the latter. The lie wasn't that 7 hours of sleep is bad. For a lot of people, it's the perfect amount. The lie was believing that the number alone was the key to unlocking a great day. The why. Deconstructing sleep quality. So, what does quality sleep even mean? It's not just about being unconscious for a while. Your brain is actually incredibly busy all night, cycling through different stages of sleep. You've got light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep, and each one has a critical job. Deep sleep is when your body physically repairs itself, strengthens your immune system, and locks in memories. REM sleep is vital for your emotional regulation and creativity. If your sleep is constantly being interrupted, even by little things you don't remember, you get kicked out of those deeper, restorative stages and sent right back to light sleep. So, you could be in bed for 8 hours, but if you're only getting tiny, broken bits of deep and REM sleep, you're going to wake up feeling wrecked. This is where the whole idea of a universal magic number just falls apart. While guidelines suggest 7 to 9 hours for most adults, our individual needs can vary a ton based on our genetics, age, and lifestyle. Some people are natural short sleepers who genuinely thrive on less than 6 hours, while others really do need 9 to feel human. The real goal isn't just to hit a specific number, but to make the time you are asleep as efficient as possible, making sure you get as much of that high-quality, restorative, deep, and REM sleep as you can. This shift in focus was a total game changer. I stopped asking, "How can I get more sleep?" and started asking, "How can I get better sleep?" The how, my 6 steps to high-quality sleep. Once I got the science, I started making some practical, science-backed changes. These aren't complicated biohacks. They're simple, powerful habits that completely transformed my rest. First, I made my bedroom a cave. Your brain needs total darkness to produce melatonin, the hormone that basically tells your body it's nighttime. I got myself some real blackout curtains that plunge my room into pitch black. I also made a strict new rule. The bedroom is for sleep and sex only. No more doom scrolling on my phone, no watching TV, and definitely no working from bed. This helps your brain build a rock-solid association. Bed equals sleep. Second, I embraced the cold. To fall asleep, your body's core temperature actually needs to drop a bit. This is why it's often way easier to doze off in a room that's a little too cold than one that's too hot. The sweet spot for sleep is around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 18 degrees Celsius. It might sound chilly, but creating a cool sleep cave is one of the most powerful things you can do for your sleep quality. Third, I set a digital sunset. Let's be real, we are a dark-deprived society. The blue light blasting from our phones, tablets, and TVs is a huge saboteur of our natural sleep-wake cycle because it shuts down melatonin production. So now, at least an hour before I plan to sleep, all screens go off. I literally put my phone in another room so I'm not tempted to grab it. Fourth, I created a wind-down routine. You can't expect your brain to go from 100 to 0 the second your head hits the pillow. Sleep is more like landing a plane than flipping a switch. It needs a nice, gradual descent. My wind-down now involves about 30 minutes of something totally non-stimulating. I'll read a physical book, listen to some calm music, or do some light stretching. It's the signal my mind and body need to get ready for rest. Fifth, I started managing my daytime habits. Great sleep starts the second you wake up. I began making a real effort to get some natural daylight first thing in the morning. This helps anchor your body's master clock, your circadian rhythm. I also made sure to get regular exercise, just not too close to bedtime, since that can raise your core body temperature and release energizing endorphins. And finally, I got smarter about caffeine and alcohol, cutting off coffee in the afternoon and limiting alcohol, which absolutely wrecks your sleep architecture later in the night. Sixth, and maybe the most important, I learned to walk it out. If I'm lying in bed, mind racing, unable to fall asleep for more than, say, 20 or 25 minutes, I get up. Tossing and turning just teaches your brain that your bed is a place for anxiety and wakefulness. I'll go to another dimly lit room and read until I feel genuinely sleepy, and only then do I head back to bed. This was absolutely crucial for breaking that cycle of sleep-related anxiety. These changes didn't happen overnight, but they were transformative. I stopped dreading my alarm clock. I started waking up feeling genuinely refreshed, often a few minutes before it even went off. My focus came back, my energy was steady, and I felt like I had finally broken free from the tyranny of my sleep tracker. So if you've been chasing a number and still feel exhausted, I want you to try something. For just 1 week, forget about the hours. Focus on 1 or 2 of these quality-boosting habits. Maybe start with making your room darker and cooler. Or try a digital sunset. See how you feel, and let me know in the comments below. What's the one habit you think is sabotaging your sleep quality the most? I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear what you're dealing with. The 7-hour sleep rule isn't exactly a lie, but it's only half the story. It's a decent minimum guideline for a lot of adults, but it's no guarantee of energy or good health. Chasing a number on a clock is a distraction from what really matters: the quality and restorative power of those hours. The real secret to waking up refreshed isn't about sleeping longer. It's about sleeping smarter. It's about creating the right environment for your body to do its essential nightly repairs. By shifting my focus from quantity to quality, I didn't just fix my sleep. I got my energy, my focus, and my life back. And you can too. It's time to stop counting the hours and start making the hours count. If what I shared in this video feels familiar to you, take a slow, gentle breath with me. Place a hand over your heart and softly, just for yourself, say, "I love myself. I love those around me.